The words and wisdom of 100 Bunbury locals are being immortalised in a new book. The One Bunbury project is sharing insights into life in WA's biggest regional city while supporting young creators.
That's a very big question in my mind. Why me?
You got me asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking, well, why me? Why not?
Now, some of you know me, I can speak and have confidence, but in front of this, man, I'm nervous.
I was nervous, to be honest. It's the first time I actually wrote notes on my phone, and I didn't have a chance to refer to it. But yeah, it was an interesting experience.
Think of, do you have something that someone could be inspired from? A story of wisdom. Share that what was passed on to you. Share that what you have created based on your life experience. You don't have to be a top, celebrity to share something like, really inspiring. Through your life journey, through your challenges, something in your head whispers and gives you strength. I'm after that.
On Triple M, it's Michael for breakfast, and joining us in the studio now is local photographer Ben Yu. G'day, Ben.
I didn't get an answer. I had another question. Why not you? What made you so special that you don't deserve cancer? And I look at stats and all that, and I know like 1 in 10, 1 in 15, regardless, depending on cancer, someone within 1 in 10 means it hits home straight away. Your wife, your kids, your friends, your siblings and all that could get it. Would you take it for the team?
It shifted my perspective from being angry and sad and emotional, like why me, to being thankful and grateful that thank God it was me.
I'm hoping a quote or wisdom and all that could shift someone's perspective too. Now, I'm only one man. That's where I like to bring in the community of Bunbury. I'm not after 100, 200 words of your life story because a lot of people don't have the time with TikToks and all that. I want something impactful.
Then I start thinking, okay, how do I bring the element of my photography skills or experience to combine with something? It's like what you do, music and lyrics, right? Music captures the attention first, but what carries you on is the lyrics. To have their voice heard, not so much on what they have achieved, but what got them through. There would be times you almost gave up in terms of emotional or family or life or business. What is the voice in your head that got you through?
I learned something today. I try to satisfy too many different people. I think I went the wrong way. It's about getting things right. I don't look back and regret that. I compromised too much because I need to get this done. And I think I'm ready. I'm ready.
Now, my question is, it gets quite personal. You don't answer everything I ask because I'm just curious I'm curious about the journey more than destination.
So my point of view, the book is not meant to be read on every pages. It's meant to open a certain page that speaks to you. Hopefully you think that is a sign. If that does, I know, go flip to page 97. There's 100 quotes there. Pick one.
What if Bunbury have a collective voice that truly inspires and empowers? How many of us have been inspired and touched by a powerful quote or message that we came across or was passed down from parents, grandparents? And what's hardest for me is to have a photo shoot with nothing. Same backdrop because everyone's equal. You're not in front of a Lamborghini or whatever things you have. Everyone's the same. Everyone gets the same shot. The only difference is the portrait must complement the message.
So the point is to make everyone on the same level and share your story. We went to a dark phase sometimes because you overthink of things that can't change, the past and all that. So I keep myself busy by taking bigger challenges. I take challenges so I got no time to think about. I think this is what I came to know when I was podcasting and all that. And he said, this is nostalgic depression. So some people do get that. So I think I do get that. So I need to keep moving forward.
I think a lot of things happens for a reason, and a lot of things we just haven't connected dots to see the relevance yet.
Quote that I thought was most applicable to you because I've heard you say it a number of times, and I really like it. I don't know what I don't know. And I think that just highlights you perfectly, because you have this extreme acceptance that you're not the professional in the room until you are.
Yes.
And even when you are, you still have this space to learn.
It's not at all what I expected.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I never saw any iterations of it, I don't think, until we started this proofing process. It surprised me when I opened it up and I saw it's 1 or 2 lines. You'd send me a version and I'd be, oh yeah, that looks great. Let me go chat to production. Yeah, it looks good, but there's this issue. Oh, well, let me get it fixed up.
Get me to my drawing board again and again and again to doubt myself and say, okay, how can I use this as an opportunity to re-look over? So each time you reject and I improve something. Each time you reject, I improve something. Until I'm like, I don't know what else I can do. What you say you can't do is a challenge for me to try to make it work. And I look through this, 100 of them, perfect. Then I spot 2 mistakes. Like, wait, what else have I missed? Then you go through the needle and the haystack, looking is there one thing, and then you realize it's perfect or close to perfect. You still got no trust anymore because you can't believe you missed that. And then you go back again, the funny thing, I go back, I still find something. There's always something to improve. One portrait of you that is not about how good you look, but how you connect with people and how you connect with your quote.
100 quotes is just the beginning that is printed. It just started here. But what I'm trying to do is to have 200, 300 quotes written, scribbled on the book as it gets passed around, and hopefully it gets passed to the person who needs it the most. Sometimes you randomly open this page and that spoke to you randomly. And that's what I'm going to grow the book. It's not meant to be just that, it's meant to be growth. Whatever I do, whatever job I do,
You want to make it meaningful.
Meaningful for not just me, for that person.
People who have done research and ask people at their deathbed, again, what mattered to you most? Not that work, not that travel, not that, it's the family, it's a connection. Why is this happening to me? It just doesn't make sense. But then I've learned from that life doesn't make sense in general. There's so much that doesn't make sense. That's how it is. The communities know how to do death, dying, grief, and loss a lot better than health professionals, because death is a social event with a medical component. It is not a medical event with a social component. If people are part of that dying process, their bereavement outcomes are a lot better because they've had enough time to say goodbye, to share things, rather than whisked away. The values of death is what we need to live by.
How do you learn to let go?
Let me know when you know. I still struggle with that. What you're feeling right now is temporary. It's going to be okay. When you're young, and especially for me in primary school, I felt like what I was feeling and the people I was around, that was really permanent, and felt like there wasn't a way out. But being it's okay. It was such you're not even going to be able to remember it, 11 years from now. There are days of burnouts or days where you're just I can't look at this. I don't want to look at it today. But yeah, you have that path and you push through that to kind of let everything else fade. Yeah, or the situation, embrace where you're at, push to get those earlier.
I spent a year just walking on the beach every day. I lost so much weight. I was crying every day. I couldn't stop crying. And I was in such a bad place. But then one day I woke up and I thought, I'm going to start sharing some old photos online. And the name just came to me straight away, Memories of Bunbury. But it wasn't until I started doing that I had something to get up for in the mornings and something to do with my mind, to think, because it was in such a bad place and it didn't have anywhere to go. And it saved me a few times since when things have gone really bad, like when my dad died. I think you've got to make a change and leave something worthy when you go. And for me, if it is all these photos and the history and everything, I'd be quite proud to leave that when I go, because like you said earlier, otherwise, what have you been here for?
You have 2 feet and a heartbeat like anybody else. They cut you, you bleed red blood like anybody else. You're no different than anybody else. You're no better than anybody else, and you're no less than anybody else. So you walk side by side with anybody and everybody and be proud of who you are. I woke up today, and some people just don't get that honour or privilege of waking up today. I woke up today. Today's going to be a good day.
He taught me about why do you hug sideways and not the front, because it's too hard.
And I remember one time I went to a party and someone said I was the ugliest person he's ever seen, and that really at 19 that hit hard. But to overcome those sort of things, I could have went the other way, went back into my cell then, and I thought I'll change my perspective, and he probably didn't mean it. People say hurtful things, maybe what they're going through, so that was a big one too, that I've learnt that you need a thick skin in this world. And we've all had our down times, and we all go for the darkness a bit, but I come to believe there's always positives in life. You just gotta look for them, and just find a purpose. People would stare. No, looking back now, I don't think they meant anything by it. They were more a bit different. But as a kid, it was always a bit unnerving, but I just learned to just deal with it. You can find inspiration everywhere in this world if you're prepared to search for it. I found the best place to start looking is within yourself.
You walk with them. You can't walk in their shoes with them, but you can walk alongside them and lead them in the right direction through that journey of grief. Write down how you feel, and you will find that eventually the pain goes away, but not completely, because it's changed. But I think grief shared is grief diminished. All good decisions are just based on common sense. Think through it first before you act, and make that decision.
I was 17, I was drunk, and I don't remember a thing. I just remember waking up in hospital and thinking, how am I going to get around? What can I do about it? When they took me off that, the pain was crazy. The pain was so bad that I didn't even have time to think about what am I going to do. They were trying to just give me stuff, and then one day I just said, no more. I want to be able to think myself. There was people in the same room with me being poor me. I thought, I'm not being like that. At the start, I was like, oh, I don't want to be seen. But then I thought, what is it really going to matter? At the end of the day, what someone else thinks of me. He's got no legs. The amount of kids that have said that. And like, they don't notice both, that I've got a missing arm and legs. They'll only notice that I've either got missing leg or missing arm, not both. Don't drink and be near train tracks. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's my motto.
It's not an answer that we like to give. You know, people talk about how much time they've got left because it depends on your mindset. It actually depends on the person. And if the person has a negative mindset, they're going to go quicker. If they've got a positive mindset, they will last. They will outlive anything that anyone might ever guess. So I will never put a figure on it. And even every moment of the time they have left is different because they're positive and they're smiling and they make the most of it. So people that have got a positive mindset will make the most of anything. You know, your why not me was actually you found a silver lining that, oh, hey, this was much better than the kids getting it or anything else. But if you're the type of person that can find that silver lining and use that as your hope to move forward, you will do better.
There's two important things to life: birth, the day you're born, and the day you die. But it's what you left in between, that legacy. That's the important thing, brother. It's not dots, it's not X-ray art. But you know that story is saltwater because of the story I've told you about living here.
Wherever you are, there you are. Scary.
I was only young, 22. I was strict to come here because when I arrived at the airport, he had abandoned me. I was actually being trafficked to work. Passport taken away, money gone. Oh, wow. I was at their mercy. I wanted to go home, but my family wouldn't have me. They said, no, you're out. You bring shame. I had to find my way. I believe that the people who have come to help me, this would be my way of carrying forth what was done for me. Let me do it for other people. Because I knew what it was like to have nobody reaching out. If I didn't have these experiences, I would not have thought about social work. I can't save the whole world, one person at a time.
I wasn't accepted by my Aboriginal community, and I wasn't really accepted by the white community because of the fairness. Yeah. We had to leave our Aboriginality, history, lifestyle, culture, however you want to label that. We had to leave that on the back burner, but we lived it. Yeah. We still lived it. All I've said to, have you thought about what the other person might be going through? What sort of home life have they got? It may not be the case, but it diffuses the stress. You were challenged with that. I think we're all put here and given challenges to test our strength.
I remember every single fatal crash I've been to. I remember every single suicide. I remember every single sudden death I've been to. I remember every single knock I've done on the door to tell someone at 2 o'clock in the morning their son or daughter or wife or husband aren't going to come back today. I remember that as clear as a bell. Went through one period where we lost 7 people in 10 months down at Dunsborough, and I, you know, crystal clear in my mind is seeing the sudden death of my little daughter, her 9-year-old friend, and I am the coming back, and my wife and I really talking about, do we tell her tonight or do we let her go to school tomorrow? And then we let her she went to school the next day where they announced it in front of everyone, and we were there. All the parents got asked to stay around, and as soon as I said it, she looked around and stared at me, and it was really sad that Dad didn't tell her before she went to school, and Dad knew, and Dad went there and things like that. So, and these moments, I'm just starting to get a little bit emotional then. That's the pressure and the stress that comes with the job, and that's what all our police deal with. Having said all that, I would not change a single thing.
The 3 words. Courage, Budja. Courage is knowledge. Budja is country. Mort is family. We need to connect and ground and come back to those things all the time. In today's society, I don't have a lot. What I do have and what I can give to make a small difference in somebody else's life. Create a smile, makes a change. Sometimes you just don't say anything, Ben. Sometimes you just sit with them. And it doesn't matter whether there's no conversation for at least, I don't know, it could be half an hour at least, before you say, are you okay? And it has to be one step at a time when someone's in so much deep and sorrow and grief, you know. I've been there. And it could take your life away, and it could take your spirit away. And me as a Noongar person, as an Aboriginal person, my spirit's gone, I'm empty. And that's what I look in somebody else, to feel that your spirit is still alive. Doesn't have to be strong, but it's still alive. And you still have that sense of pride and identity and culture within you. And then we can harness that to bring you back to yourself.
If you worry all night, you can't do anything the next morning.
3 of us could read the same affirmation, but you take out of it what you want to take out of it. And it's the same with the quote. Because like Dad might have quotes from his, say, to do with his Olympic, career or a business career, but you wanted to pick one that was relatable for anybody that was to read
But
it.
like that quote that you actually chose for Dad, absolutely nailed Dad's way of thinking. When the cyclone was going through Bunbury, Dad came home from work and he sat down, and we were in this little wooden house, and every time the wind would blow, the carpet would lift up the tables, and he went to the fridge and he got all this food out, and he's sitting there. My grandmother, my mum's mum, would go, "What are you doing? How can you eat at a time like this?" And he's going, "Well, if we're going to die, at least I'll die with a full stomach. Like, why am I worrying about what's going to happen with the thing?" And he's trying to eat his dinner, and he had a card table that kept lifting up, and he'd just sit there and he'd be going up and down. And he's like, not a care in the world.
She woke him up like 3 a.m. because she was worried about it and she couldn't sleep. And he was annoyed that she woke him up to say this. He said, "Well, look at it this way, if in the morning, if I'm still alive, then I'll deal with it then. At least I've had a good night's sleep. And if I've died, then it's your problem.
I don't have to worry about it. I'm not losing any sleep over it. Father Evan dropped everything.
He
and
literally
just
dropped everything,
drove down, Holy Communion.
gave Dad the Holy Communion, read him, and the change in my dad, whether or not there was this, I can go now. It was like he was at peace, that he's, yeah. Everyone has said the same thing, but no one has captured Dad in the way that you've captured his essence of who he was, and cheekiness in that one photo. And we use that at the funeral, and it's ended up being such a beautiful tribute.
My why is the message that changed my life. Just that one verse, one message, man, that changes perspective. If everyone carries something with them, that's what I'm after. That's my goal.
Can I have another round of applause for Ben? That was just...
You're mental. Because it's going to be a massive, massive project. And then I told that project to Cliff and he's like, is this guy insane? But then I think when he met you and the energy and passion that you had for this project for our town, and then Cliff's like, yeah, I'm on board.
It's an amazing project and terrific for Bunbury. And one of the things that Ben wants to do is not so much project Bunbury, that of course, but the people. And it's the people that make up the city.
The funny thing I think about with Ben's situation through this, when he spoke to us in March and we said, when do we see this coming to fruition? He said, it should only take a few months. So that was 18 months ago now, and I think he'd already been at it for 18 months prior to that. Those who've obviously met Ben and probably had the conversation with him know his story to where he got to, which is an incredible story.
I think we should hear from the man himself. Would you please give a great big round of applause to Mr. Ben Yu.
First of all, thank you so much for being here today. That book is meant to move. That book is not complete. That book needs to complete with all your help to put in your quote in that book and pass it on. So this is what the book is all about. It's not something, I like it, you can keep it, yeah, for sure. But the idea is to share the book and your words from the book, because I can only feature 100, thousands and thousands of people out there still with amazing stories that I could not share, because if not, the book looks like this thick. So, but you can scribble on the book anywhere. When you see the book get passed around later, please share your wisdom and pass it on.
And to see that there, if we could bottle that, Ben, I think we'd be doing pretty okay.
And I feel that a masterful storyteller brings out that authenticity. So, yeah, congratulations to you all to be part of that and share the love of that book.
I'm emotional. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, hey!
As I've said, he just rattled on, and it just got a toothpick and a corkscrew and whatever, and just winkled.
Thanks for sharing your feedback. I appreciate it.
You're one amazing guy. That's all I'll say.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
And just a quick note, my intention was not to make anyone cry. That wasn't the intention.
Put your hands up if he cried in his interview.
And I've been interviewed a lot of times, and usually I have a very specific story to tell. And so I got really very uncomfortable with Ben, because he started asking questions that I wasn't prepared for. And it forced me to be raw and real and very much in the moment. And there were tears. And Ben was like, well, you know, we could go with a few chords. And I was like, what? How did you get that out of it? And I tried to control it. I tried to control him, because that's what I do. And it didn't work, because eventually I realized that, no, he saw something. So I let him go with it. So I don't know what my chord is, but I'll know soon.
Shamar is the reason why we have a tissue box right next to that interview after that. She said, because she was looking at it, there's no tissue. Like, because of you, I put a tissue box there. So many people use that after that. So thank you so much for the suggestion.
Yeah. I think Ben has done something with all of us that no one else can really do. And he's tapped into certain things that we want to push away. And he broke down, with me, he broke down a lot of stuff. And I walked away and I'm like, I felt so more happy and enlightened after doing the interview with him, because he got stuff out of me that I wouldn't say to anyone, not even my wife I wouldn't say to. But yeah, I don't even really know why I'm here. Okay, yes, I did do some stuff, and yeah. But yeah, I think this is our story. It's about us, our community, and it doesn't, like Tom said, it doesn't matter if you're a fossil or you're really young. So it's our story. Ben extracts one or two little things out. Oh, gee. Yeah, I think we all cried, didn't we, Ben?
Yeah, I did. He got stuff out of me that my shrink didn't get. I don't know how, but I finished it. I think we're about an hour or so, Ben. Maybe I think it might have been a bit more. And then I was driving home going, how did he get me to talk about that? My God.
To give me the destination is give me the quote. But I need to know the journey, how you got to that. If you don't have that journey, people will struggle to connect with the quote. So they need to know where you came from. And the more they share, the more most guys here share, I don't know, it just moves your heart to feel that you remember their story, sometimes even better than a quote sometimes, because of, it's such an inspiring story. And to my surprise, there's a lot of amazing stories out there, but there are some stories that really inspired me, other people who done things that no one knows. They fly on the radar and just do things. And I'm so glad I managed to feature people who are known and people who are not known as well.
You start there and you can go, oh, I don't like that, I didn't like that, I didn't like that. But if you don't have that, then you don't get to here. That's, everything, the good stuff, the bad stuff, everything that's happened gets us to where we are tonight, here. And even this is going to be a story that is going to be told. People will talk about this, the book launch, and they'll see the book. So I think what you've done is really quite remarkable.
Before we all come in here tonight, and you said how nervous you were standing up there, how do you feel now? Right now, at this moment, how do you feel?
The same, still nervous.
Really?
Can't wait to get this over with. Yeah.
We're going to try and make you cry sooner or later.
Because I'll tell you, after I left my interview with you, Rick and I walked down the street and we stopped in the park, the park right near the library after we talked to you. And I just said to Rick, that was such a bloody honour to meet you. The honour was mine that day. It was an absolute honour to meet you. So to watch this short film, knowing how many hours and how much love, the honour is ours. It's ours tonight. It's absolutely ours, and I feel very, very proud to say that I have met you.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry. There's no tissues here. Where's the tissue box?
Shamara, yes, where's your tissue box, Shamara?
And just the sheer amount of hours that have gone in, knowing that to a large degree he's done this solo. So, brother, thank you, man. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.